I shall now review Islander Issue 5 by the Lotus Eaters. Previously I have reviewed books by No White Guilt, Semiagog, Carlos Loferus, and Nima Parvini. I reviewed them based on a number of metrics which I apply here. Books are for reading, so does this one invite me to read. The magazine measures 11 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inches by 1/4 inch thick. It is probably too tall for a typical bookshelf to stand upright, but it is light and easy to hold in one hand or two hands. The title as it appears on the front cover is simply Islander, and this word is a bit hidden by the warrior figure who blocks the S, A, and N. It is also not clear that this is issue 5. However, it could be that the front cover itself is the title in a non-linguistic way. Each issue has had a distinctive cover, so rather than remembering numbers, one can remember the images. The words issue 5 do appear on the spine, but you can easily miss that when the spine is so thin. The cover is dominated by the enormous figure of a warrior on the horizon towering over the front cover of Rolling Hills and Trees, with a lone figure in the foreground looking up at him. The foreground is dark, and as the eye rises as if to the heavens, the color goes red, a red dawn rising. The sword in the warrior's hand is not red, and its color slices through the side of the cover. It is a very striking image. The spine is very thin, so there is no room for anything exciting to happen. All we get is the title and the issue number in white on blue. The rear cover is plain blue with the title Islander, again with no issue number, and some kind of crude face like the ancient art one might find in a cave. It is unusual, but again might serve as a way to identify the magazine issue without stooping to words or numbers. The language used throughout the magazine is English, written plainly, concisely, precisely, and economically. The authors did not have the luxury of space in which to pontificate, so they had to fit what they wanted to say into the space allotted. Thus it is easy to follow what is said without getting lost, for there are no diversions from the point. There are figures throughout the magazine to break up what would otherwise be walls of text. There is even an entire section which is a graphic novel. In general, figures tend to act as garnish. You need not pay them attention since they are backdrops, or perhaps general images for context. Sometimes the text specifically refers to specific images, so of course they must be included. In each case, the figures serve the magazine's readability, either to provide context, break up the page to avoid exhausting blocks of text, or to provide information. There are few footnotes or citations, if any, though references to other works are frequent. In these cases the reference is made to a work, an author, etc., but there is no need to have academic citations, there is simply no room for that. Although there are many contributing authors, there is a consistent style to the magazine. The authors write their articles in which they lay out their logical points for the reader to follow as they propose an argument. However, this style deviates significantly in three respects. One is an interview. One is a fictional short story, which was in the Antelope Hill if not Us Who contest, and the other is a graphic novel. In each case there is a central theme of the heroic, either on its own or in contrast to the safe, liberal society we currently occupy. The theme is addressed directly by some authors, actually analyzing how we live our lives or what shaped the modern society. The theme is sometimes addressed indirectly, observing the same theme, but in specific instances. The substance of the magazine, throughout its articles, is an argument that the heroic idea hasn't gone away, you know. It is all around us, except, for the time being, in the halls of power, although it appears to be making inroads there too, as Rupert Lowe, MP, explains in his interview. The heroic ideal is in our revealed preferences, the popularity of Warhammer, the enduring popularity of the character Aragorn, and even in how we interact with people in our real lives. The heroic is a personality type, the artist perhaps. There are heroes among us now, just waiting for a future occasion to which to rise. The mercenaries of the Congo, Angola, Sierra Leone, and Iraq were already in the world as grown men before they sprang into action. They did not become heroic overnight. It was in them all along. We can't all be heroes all the time. There is a natural tension between the avant-garde and the establishment, with one or other in ascendancy at any one time. The hero can be too honest, too straightforward, an Othello victim to Iago. The hero must live in the real world, constrained by the need for energy and fuel, or subject to the needs of capitalism. It seems inevitable that the hero hasn't gone away, you know. It might even be written in the stars that he should recede for now, but return later, as Aragorn did. Overall, the message is heartening. The heroes are all over the place, but their time is not yet at hand. I enjoyed the magazine. I must admit I found one or two articles a bit of a reach for my taste, but it is clear that serious intellect approached the theme. I look forward to the next issue if I can get it.